Why is this dude $300?
Finally, this is the S.H.MonsterArts Anguirus figure. Tamashii Nations finally listened to the Godzilla fans and gave us this figure, and I finally got my hands on him at GFest. There were a lot of things that I like about this figure, but there were a few issues with this figure. So let's start off with the sculpt and detail of this figure first. The sculpt on his figure is amazing. His scales look gray and they feel nice. His spikes on his tail look amazing. They're really sharp except for his tip of the tail. Same goes to his spikes on the back. The wrinkles on this figure makes him more look like a suit more than a real kaiju, which I'm not hating on it. I think it's a great idea to it. The face looks beautiful. The teeth and the mouth are very well done. The detail on the paint looks good. The back of his spikes are a nice airbrush paint to them. The spikes on his tail and face are painted amazing. The eyes give it a real look, and the teeth are painted real nice. They also painted his spikes on his arms and legs, which in the movie they're not painted and they're not noticeable, which I'm surprised they did that. The claws on him are nicely painted. Overall, the sculpt and detail, everything about it is very well done. Now let's move on to its articulation. Alright, so the articulation of this figure is actually really good. So we're going to start off with its arm first. The arms can move, as you can see. Have a nice, good old like elbow joint. Nice elbow joint. They can swivel. The arm can move like that. His hands are on a ball joint, so they can swivel, move up and down, which is pretty cool. I like that. His neck joint can move this far up and this far down. His head can move. And his jaw can open, and surprisingly he has tongue articulation to it, if you can see it or not, but that is pretty cool. And I don't know why his jaw moves like that. I've been hearing problems about the jaw moving like that. His torso body can move this down, which damn, and move this far up. Same to his lower body ish. It can move this down and this upwards. So his legs, they could do a perfect split. As you can see, his thigh joints are a nice little ball joints. You can see right here. The knee joint, very good, very well, I'll say that. Swivels, a little swivel here on this like leg right here. Nice little swivel. The feet can move down and up that far. And he could do like a pivot, nice little pivot, and this part could move up and down his feet part, as you can see, which is pretty cool. And his tail is on a nice like little ball joint, very flexible, and surprisingly none of the joints didn't pop off with the tail, because SH is known for their tails popping off joints, and they still do it to this very day. But yeah, my issue is that the tail, every time when you move it, it like changes chords like this every time when I move the tail. So, but I mean, I don't really care though. The spikes are very hard to like touch, like if you get pinched by them. But yeah, I have showed you guys every articulation of this guy. I really like it. I think it's pretty solid. I like this articulation of this guy. Now, since we covered the good stuff about this figure, let's start off about the issues with this figure. First issue of this figure is his articulation on the tail. Don't get me wrong, the posability is great, but I think they could have given him more with it. If they would have given it a few more ball joints instead of giving it a few of it, I think it would have been a great posability for this tail. Okay, if you're still confused on what I'm trying to say, so what I'm trying to say is that they given this guy, look at this, they given this guy one little ball joint, yet there's like an extra like ball joint they could have given this guy. Because look at this, you can see it could have been a posability on this chunk. Instead, there's like two chunks each part of the tail, which the two chunks that are in this tail could have at least one ball joint here and one ball joint here. It could have been the most flexible tail of all, but it limits the tail articulation. It's still great articulation, but if it was more flexible and gave more ball joints here and here as well, I think that would have been a great like idea or a great issue to fix the issue for that figure.
My second issue is the joints. The joints are either stiff or hard to move, which I do not want to break this figure at all. Such for example, his right shoulder, it is hard to move and it's very stiff. If I move it, I might break it. And there was also a chance by the time of when I was recording, his arm joint popped off, which yes, I know I said there was no leg joints popping off at the same time, but it's still an issue to this very day. The third issue is the price. Damn Tamashii Nations, was this figure made out of gold and shit? I feel like this figure's price should have go at least $100 or $120 because you get no accessories. The tail has somewhat a limited articulation on the tail, and well, it's just Anguirus. But yeah, those are my three main issues with this figure. Now let's move on to the conclusion part of this review. So, should you get this figure? Well, it depends if you really want this figure or not. If you're willing to pay $300 to get a posable Anguirus figure to have for your collection, then I'll go for it. But if you don't want to pay an expensive figure and you want to have a budget, I would recommend to get the Bandai vinyl Anguirus figures. For my rating of this figure, I'll give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10 for this one. So there's my review on the S.H.MonsterArts Anguirus figure. Hope you guys enjoyed this figure review. Be sure to like and subscribe. I make these figure reviews and commentary videos all the time, and be sure to join our Discord server, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.